LS Gameplay.
Hey guys, Theo here from LF Gameplay, and this is finally the grand moment of what you have all been waiting for. We're finally able to release some details on the game client itself. It's no longer it is under NDA, but for previous attempts, but now publicly we can actually show you what things are looking like. This is the client. This is the login screen after you get done patching the game. The game is roughly three files, maybe 4 or 5, depending on if you get errors or if you're using Google Chromes, and such as. Should be roughly around 12.7 gigabytes if you put it all into a folder. Now, there are people having issues getting with the patcher. This is known issues. Make sure that you do not have anything read-only. Make sure you also, maybe if you're using AVG or other antivirus software that's preventing you to connect to download the updates, go ahead and try and disable it to see if that helps. If that is what the issue is, you can go ahead and try and figure out how to put some exceptions in there to make sure that it will not prevent you from downloading the client. But here we are looking at the official Guild Wars 2 client. Looking at it, it's very clean. You'll see the Guild Wars 2 dragon. That's also the 2 for the game. And in the background, you see the little concept art pieces with an animation form. It's very simple, but in the sense, it's very clean. Now, there are some things that I'm seeing here that I have not seen in many other MMOs. That's not to say that they're the first ones to do it, but they're one of the only ones that does it. We'll go ahead and type in a random account name for the account name. So I'll go ahead and use Derpy Derp. As you can tell, I've been looking at some Rage comics. And then let's go ahead and look at the password. This is where it's going to get a little different from every other MMO. Like I said, I'm not saying that this is the first one that has done it. This is the first one that I have seen that has done it. But typing out a password, you'll see this thing called a chroma code, which uses the hash of your password to register its unique way of typing it out into 3 different colors. This is basically so you can just flat out see if you've typed your password in right. You cannot see what your password is, but you can look over here and be like, okay, well, this is not the colors that I used for my password before. Let's type out a password I'll actually remember. Alright, this will do. So, we're looking at a blue, a yellow, and a purple. Now, let's say you type out the same thing, but you add a capital letter somewhere. It's going to completely change everything. You're going to see a yellow, a gray, and then like a silverish lighter gray color. This is to help prevent you to easily look at and be like, oh, well, I typed in my password wrong. Now, you also have the option, of course, remember your account name, remember your password, so it'll all be there as soon as you log in, where you can just type it in once and be like, okay, I don't even have to worry about this. But this is for people who are either use this for public computer access or some other thing. Now, you can also, when you log in, this will automatically appear on your friends list. Do you want to appear online? Do you want to appear away? Or do you want to appear invisible? Now, obviously, we all have these days where you're like, I don't really want to talk to anyone. Let's just go ahead and go to invisible and go ahead and grab a few levels while no one's noticing. Perfectly awesome, perfectly fine, unless your friends hate your guts for you doing that afterwards. Or if you want to be a troll, go ahead and do it and let your friends hate your guts afterwards. Now, let's say you want to log in as away and just hang out in town for a little bit. You can log in like that as well. Your status does not affect how you play. It's just what's your friends list status going to be. Let's say you log in like okay, and then you realize once you want to log in, mom comes in and says, "Hey, I need you to take out the trash. Hey, I want you to do dishes." Okay, well, let's log in and let's go ahead and just click this right when I'm trying to log in at the same time. So, it's kind of an interesting way to look at the game when you're logging in. Now, there is one little concern that I have. I'm looking at this full screen mode, and looking at the full screen mode, I'm like, ooh, there's a shiny dragon here. Look in the background. Whoa, look at all this concept art. It's really lovely. hey, where do I change my options at? Well, looking at this, I'm looking at a frame rate right now where the game menu is. I cannot see the game menu too well up here in this upper left-hand corner. Nor do I, if I want to exit the game or minimize it, I just know by heart by every other program that, hey, there's a little thing up here that allows you to control it that way. But the main little issue I'm having, which is, it's just personal little tweaking that I would do, would just be the game menu. Why is it's in the upper left-hand corner. It's not really easy to see as opposed to being like right here where you're used to seeing everything in the login area, or a giant options button in the login area. But it's the same way as when you log in, so you'll get used to it. It's just nitpicky. So you click on the game menu and it brings you up to this option where you can this menu selection where you can return to game, select your options, or exit to desktop, as opposed to just clicking the little X in the upper right hand corner. So we're going to go ahead and look at options. Now, this is pretty much the same as how it was for the closed beta testing and the stress testing. I'm unsure if they're still using the fact that, okay, are we going to, is it still watermarked when you log in, where it would show your email that you log in with? But at this point, it really doesn't matter. But it's still in beta stages, and they still haven't added the high resolution character textures. So when you're putting everything on best appearance, you're going to look at textures and be like, well, why is it only medium? Why is it only low and medium? Well, that's because they haven't added the high-end textures yet, because they're still using this as a beta, the first beta client, and I think they want to test and see how the masses play with it on medium settings. So, but everything else is available right now. The renderer is going to be DirectX 9, DirectX 10, and DirectX 11 have not been enabled yet, nor do I know if it's going to be like that at launch. Looking at the options, though, everything else is pretty clear. You can put everything else on high or ultra, whether it, your computer can handle it or not. Depth of field, that's basically how far, that's the distance viewing and how clear you can view things in the distance. Reflections, that's basically all the shiny stuff. Shaders, that's going to be other lighting effects that help darken and help lighten certain areas. Shadows, how amazing do you want your shadow detail to be? Terrain is how good you want your environment textures to look like trees, grass, stuff like that. Regular textures, those are overall textures, but it's really concerning your character texture. Right now, it's looking very nice even when they're on medium. There are a couple bugs with the client right now, and that's because it is a beta client and they haven't really fixed these issues. Every time you log in, this thing will be set to a custom standard here where you can choose, but everything will be on best performance. Now, half the time it will be on best appearance, but it will still have the bar all the way on best performance for some reason. I guess that's because it has a saving issue. Now, everything else, it's fine. You can set it to full screen. You can put it in window mode. In window mode, you'll see it doesn't have a resolution. That's because it's one of those client applications where you basically click and drag how the size of your window, how big do you want the window to be. Right now, I'm living it on the 1680 by 1050 just to have a good render for a 1080 high def video. Interface size, you can change how big and small you want your UI to be. I just leave it on normal just because I don't really like things magnified, or I guess you could say minimized. Looking here, we got the different volume options you can have. Now you have a tick box down here. It says mute Guild Wars 2 and mute when Guild Wars 2 is in the background. This does not work yet. I know for me, it would be kind of a nice feature to have, and I know of course it's going to be implemented, but right now it does not work. You can tick this, go back to graphics, go back, and it'll be unticked again. I've also tried just leaving it ticked, then minimizing Guild Wars 2, and it's still playing music. I love the music, but moving into the game after playing this for about a year, I'm going to want that mute when Guild Wars 2 is in the background button ticked, which I know they'll have it done. But there's a lot of different volume controls you can have. Looking at the VoIP ducking, I'm assuming that there will be a VoIP feature sometime in the future upon release. It's not there now as far as I know, but they may put it in the future. UI volume, basically, I'm assuming it's just going to be how loud your UI stuff is going to be, as far as clicking things on the interface and choosing different options. Music volume, of course, is the background music. Background audio volume is background sound effects. Sound effects volume is going to be spells, skills, whatever you're going to use. Dialogue volume is when you go into, let's say you want to do a story and it brings up a cutscene. Or if you're in town and NPCs are talking, having on their conversation, you can change the volume of that. UI volume, gone over it, and then you go down to the master volume, and it's basically just the overall master control of everything. So controlling the master volume will scale all of these, every one of these volume bars according to the master volume bar. Sound quality. You choose between fastest quality and highest quality. Highest quality, I have an 8-bit audio channel, high def audio, so I try and put my audio on highest quality. But for those of us who are using, let's just say, AM2 drivers or AM2 chipsets with their motherboards and whatnot, who are using 5-year-old grandma computers who still want to play Guild Wars 2 because it wants to be a young computer, you'd probably want to put that on fastest just to make sure that it's not taking your CPU. From what I've read, Guild Wars 2 is a CPU heavy game, not a not a video card heavy game. So even if you don't have the best video card, you could probably make do with your if you have a better CPU than your graphics card. If you have a high-end, let's just say you have a high-end CPU, you're running it at a quad-core 3.4 gigahertz. That's pretty much on par, actually. But let's say that 3.4 gigahertz processor has the bare minimum graphics card. Well, you could probably still kick off some pretty high settings just because of your processor. That's not to say that if you have a higher end graphics card, it won't look better, but everything right now is really CPU related. So that is it for the options right now. If you try to log in, let's just go ahead and try and log in. Almost forgot my account name. Let's just go ahead and test out some of the different things that it'll give us if we try and log in. It's going to be incorrect password. This is, of course, not my password. If you haven't done so, please reset your portal account. That's actually a new message. They've changed all of their messaging from their previous betas. Let's go ahead and try and do one that's not my password. See, good use out of that. That's my password. Go ahead and click and log in, and it'll give you the message right now that your account's all prepared, but there's no beta event running right now. So we're gonna have to come back later when it works. So we're ready. We're ready for Friday noon. This is Tiho from LF Gameplay. This is all I have for you right now, and I will keep you updated in the future. And I am looking forward to playing with y'all on Friday. Oh, speaking of which, LF Gameplay will be on the Sorrow's Furnace world if you are in the United States. There's a lot of group discussions about what people want to be on, what server everybody's going to play. Europe servers are going to be different from the. They're going to be different servers for the Europeans and the different servers for the U.S. LF Gameplay will be on Sorrow's Furnace on the US servers. So if you want to hit us up, go ahead and find us there on that world. Thank you all guys so much, and I hope to see you all in the future. Thank you.
LS Gameplay.